and welcome to Onesies, a podcast of onesies and wonders and blunders. My name is Andrew,
My name is Emily.
and we are back discussing the 1984 ABC sitcom Three's a Crowd, starring John Ritter, Mary
Cardinet.
Cardnett, Robert Mag Ma-
Mandan.
Mandin, Alan Campbell, and returning very special guest star for a single scene, Jessica Walters. Walter, singular?
Jessica Walter. Singular.
Singular. We are discussing episodes, fuck yeah, we are 5 and 6. Yeah,
Yes, 5 and
yeah.
6.
Starting with Jack's dick doesn't work, followed by Jack and Vicky like to fuck too much.
Followed by I would rather watch them fucking than trying not to fuck. Because gross either way, but for some reason the other one was grosser.
Okay.
I don't know. It was gross. Anyway, it's a lot of sex in these
A
two
lot of
episodes.
sex, these episodes. Not a lot of seemingly continuity between the two of them either. But the intercom
No.
comes back.
The
Yes, it
intercom comes
did.
back. Yep.
But not that amusingly at all. So hopefully you watched these more recently than I did.
Yes, I
only
just watched them.
these 40 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't seen these two episodes in 40 years.
Oh, God.
Here's what happens. So the first episode...
The first episode, or episode 5, is called Jack's Problem.
And why don't you lay it out for us,
We
Emily?
start with Jack and Vicky in their apartment in the morning. I don't remember what the conversation is, because it doesn't fucking matter.
I think it's about his wiener. I think it's about them not having sex last night.
I think it is. But I think she's trying to put the moves on him, and he's like, no, because he doesn't want to be embarrassed again.
Mm-hmm.
And she mentions, is this about the problem yesterday? And he's like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Because man. And she's like, listen, it's not a big deal, but we need to talk about it. And he's like, this is where the intercom comes back into play. Easy calls him from downstairs, like, I can't find the detergent. Jack uses it as an excuse to leave without discussing his little problem. He goes down into the restaurant, the bistro, and no, you're looking at me funny.
I'm trying to remember when all the things happened, because when were Easy and his girlfriend making out?
Yeah, so maybe I
did we open
ahead.
maybe in the restaurant?
I think we opened in the bistro and talking about how father-in-law, for lack of a better term, won't leave him alone. He comes in, Robert, Mr. Bradford comes in with an idea for the for the bistro. We're gonna have outdoor seating. We're gonna have a patio. It's great. Look at this drawing that I made. And Jack's like, are we gonna plant mushrooms in the outside? And he's like, those are tables, you ding dong dummy. And he's like, yeah, well, we're not zoned to have outdoor seating, so this is great. So it can't work. And he's like, why didn't you tell me that in the first place? Why did you let me waste my breath? And he's like, you wouldn't let me. You wouldn't let me. And this is when we have Easy making out with his girlfriend in the kitchen.
Yes.
He comes out first to talk to him about something. It doesn't really matter. Mr. Bradford leaves, and Jack's like, oh, thank God, I can't get away from this. And then like a little window pops open, and it's some girl whose name we find out. They give her a name. Her name's Susie. She is like, Easy, come back here. And Easy's like, I know, I can't get a break either. And he goes back and they start making out.
That's the best Easy voice we've had. By the end of the season, you're going to just talk like that all the time. It's going to be great. Mr.
I don't know, I can't do this either.
Mr. Emily's going to fucking love that. Uh, okay, so yes, and then we go upstairs where Mr. Bradford is,
Right,
and,
right.
and Jack talks some shit about him, and then Mr. Bradford comes out and hears some of it, but then he leaves,
And then this is where
and
Vicky is trying to get him
yes,
down and dirty.
down
And
and
he's like,
dirty.
I'm not going to do that. Sorry, I
No,
started this in the wrong place.
no, he's like, yeah, definitely. Let's meet in bed. And she's like, are you sure? Because I thought after last night you might not. And he's like, what happened yesterday? Nothing happened. Then she goes into the bathroom to
To
change.
change.
He runs through the house and gets into bed before she can get there to pretend he's asleep when she comes out looking for him to lay some pipe.
And she comes out in a nice little silky thing.
Mm.
And again, we get a lot of leg. And he pretends to be asleep, but he's like still wearing his pants, his trousers, and his shoes. Um, so I don't know how he manages to get those off.
She's
Whatever.
a she doesn't know these things, Emily. Women don't know these things. Not in 1984, they didn't. Um, so yes, then we cut to the morning where she wants to talk to him about whatever's going
Yeah.
on. He's like, fuck no, we're not talking about a damn thing. And she's like, now listen, we said we were going to talk about these things as a couple. We're partners here. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I got to get downstairs and help Easy. So he goes downstairs, sends Easy out for the detergent. Nope.
Easy's
Yep.
running out he's like, I could have done this on my own. And he runs out. He blows past Susie on his way out.
Yes.
And she comes in, Jack invites her in. Regardless, she comes in. She's a young lady and she is distraught because things with Easy are over and he doesn't even recognize she exists anymore. And what am I going to do? He means everything to me, blah, blah, blah. Very melodramatic. And Jack listens and he kind of rolls his eyes and he's not having it. But he's like, listen, I will help you out. But we cut back upstairs where we get our one scene with Jessica Walter. She comes, she's got a funny line. I just got my alimony check and I need to go share the good news with the department stores. Hilarious. Loved it. She's inviting Vicky to come out with her
Which
shopping.
implies in our new universe that Jessica Walter tested higher than literally everything else on the show. They have moved her apparently to LA. There's no discussion of her visiting from South America anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't think about that.
So we get this scene where Vicky wants to talk to her mom about male partner's impotence. We discover the only time Papa Bradford ever had any problems was when he was too busy thinking about banging his secretary, but otherwise he was always at full mast.
Attentive. Attentive
Attentive.
is the word they
I'm
use
sorry.
on television in
Yes,
1984.
it is. So they leave it with Vicky's sure Jack's not cheating on her, whereas Jessica Walters like he's a fucking man. He's a piece of shit. What do you think he's
He's
doing?
just like your father. Like, because the only frame of reference she has for this is Vicky's father. And in this world, all men are her father.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyway, so cut back down to the kitchen. Jack has agreed to talk to Easy about Susie so they can get back together, get things back together. Literally, do not put a pin in that. It will not come back.
Does not come back.
This only exists to have Vicky come down the stairs in the back of the bistro.
Which is the staircase to the apartment that is
It's very weird.
established in this episode, at least, possibly another one, but definitely this one.
Very weird. And she only sees Susie celebrating by jumping up in her chair, sitting on Jack's lap, kissing him all over the face. She's clearly distraught. She turns around and goes back upstairs. And then Susie says, "Thank you so much for talking to EZ and getting us back together. I'm very excited. I'm so grateful for you. You're so great." Another funny line, another woman being funny, the only funny part of the show. She says, I wish my dad were as understanding as you are. And Jack sort of like puffs up his chest a little bit, like, yeah, I'm so understanding. I'm such a good guy. And then she says, maybe when he's your age.
Boom.
Hilarious.
You're forgetting that we had a commercial break.
Oh, did we?
Where we had a laugh track. We faded out with a laugh track on Vicky's distress.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then we come back and do that with the dad thing. So then Jack goes up. No, Mr. Bradford comes in immediately.
Yes.
And is like, I'm going to beat the living shit out of you. And Jack's
again,
like,
he's funny in this scene.
Yeah. I mean, I was really hoping he was going to beat the living shit out of Jack, and not, just because I just was like, I would enjoy watching that at this point.
He's funny in this scene. He's threatening to beat him up. He's not telling him why. Jack is like, what is going on here? Blah, 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 blah. He has a difficult time taking off his suit coat.
Jack tries to help him.
And he's like, you stay away from me. So funny. So funny. He ends up hurting his back or something because he's old. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's finally like, I ran into my ex-wife and she said that you're cheating on my daughter.
I'm not even sure he says ex-wife. I think he says, I ran into my wife and she says you're cheating on my daughter. I don't remember if he said ex.
Or maybe he says Mrs. Bradford.
I don't know. It was very confusing because it is sort of like a semi-retcon too of their relationship. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Jessica Walter comes back and has a scene with somebody else. I also did want to mention that the scene with Vicky does pass Bechdel for a while, because when she comes in, they don't talk about Jack at all. They talk about shopping.
Well, but they're talking about spending Dad's money.
I mean, okay, so this after you stop identifying where the money's coming from, that 24 seconds where they're just discussing shopping, that passes Bechdel.
Okay.
Which is impressive considering the last time Vicky and her mom didn't even have a scene together.
That's true.
Alone. So
that's true.
But also Vicky not having her own scenes, we still are not going to have that, and we're really not going to have that this scene. Vicky's life is going to be paused.
She doesn't go to work in either of these episodes. She doesn't even go to work.
Well, I mean, why would we acknowledge that she has a job except that it's in the
It is acknowledged at the end of this next episode, but she doesn't go to work at all.
Yeah, no, Jack and Dad
have a heart-to-heart about Jack's problem.
Yes.
Except Dad keeps laughing at him.
And then but he's like, no, man, you just need to, he's like, I've heard this happens to other men, but you need to probably talk to her about it or something. I don't know.
No, Dad recommends the psychologist.
Right. So again, his friend, the psychologist.
Shockingly progressive. This television show, at least in this episode, cares about men's mental health. Hello.
I mean, why do you think it got canceled? Emily, why do you think it got canceled?
So yes, conveniently named Dr. Kimberly in Beverly Hills is the guy he's going to recommend. Give him a call. He's in the Beverly Hills yellow pages or whatever.
Don't worry about that.
And Dad leaves, whatever. We go back upstairs. Jack goes back upstairs, right? And has this conversation with Vicky. Like, nope, I've got it figured out. This is the comedy of errors, right? There's going to be a miscommunication, a misunderstanding, where Vicky has seen this young woman kissing all over Jack. Jack does not know she has seen that. So Vicky is talking about one thing, Jack is talking about something completely different, and they're having a discussion neither one of them are having the same discussion.
Yes.
And I forget what the resolution of it is.
The resolution is I think, does she say, she like storms out of the room and he's like,
Yeah.
well, I don't know what she's so upset about. Do they don't break up here because that happens when he gets back from the psychologist, but there might be, the miscommunication ends with her leaving the room without Jack being in any way resolved to
Right.
know that she's upset about the Easy's girlfriend thing. He then goes over, calls information, and gets the phone number for Dr. Kimberly. And like all psychiatrists, Dr. Kimberly has an appointment available in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. It takes longer than 20 minutes to drive there. But yes, he has...
We've never established how Jack gets around.
No, we haven't. But yes, so the next scene is him in the doctor's office, thanking him. Oh, thank you for getting me in so early. But pin in that he wrote down the doctor's phone number on a piece of paper and left it sitting on the counter. So he goes to this appointment and again, like so much time in this episode is spent with him not wanting to talk about what the problem is. Yeah. Hey, okay, I get it. We get it. Okay,
no,
we get it.
We're going 24 minutes.
No, it was so long. Every time somebody tries to talk to him about it, not only is he dismissing it, ignoring it, not wanting to talk about it, but when he does start to talk about it with a therapist who is presumably a, non-judgmental party, he can't say the word. This is toxic masculinity rearing its ugly head in the least threatening way possible. So he finally gets it out that he can't get or stay hard or whatever the issue is. Because again, we don't know exactly what it is.
We don't know what it is.
And the doctor says, when you told me about this problem, Mr. Bradford's name kept coming up. Is he such an imposition that he is distracting you and stressing you out?
And Jack is like, yes. And then he's like, well, but now that we know that that's what it is, you're cured.
Which is, okay.
I mean, how do they know Jack's cured? What happened at the commercial?
Here's the thing. Jack knows that Mr. Bradford is an imposition because he mentions it in that first scene in the bistro. Says, I can't get this guy off my back, or something like that. Like, he just keeps coming around and imposing himself. Like, he knows this. He knows what the problem is. So the doctor's cure that you didn't know what the problem was, and now you do and you're fine. He knew what the problem was. He knew that Mr. Bradford was a problem. Maybe he didn't know that it was impacting his ability to get an erection, but there's no way that he didn't know that. And in no way because therapy now would be like, you need to set boundaries. Just because this guy gave you startup money or whatever he's doing with your business does not mean that he can impose himself. You need to write a contract. You need to set boundaries. Do something.
There's the implication of some sort of boundary setting, but it doesn't come up until the punchline at the end of the episode, because this is a sitcom where we're going to sit and watch the resolution of this psychiatry scene, and then Jack is going to remember it differently in service of a scene later on. There is the joke, and so the psychiatrist is played by James Karen, who I don't think we have guest stars we do have guest stars next episode, but nobody recognizable. So James Karen, I think he was in Return of the Living Dead this same year or the next year. So recognizable character actor. It's like they very much blew their budget on guest stars this episode and didn't have any money next episode. And instead it's all either extras or or Paul Bartel's Paul Bartel is going to show up next episode. For 1984, Timu Paul Bartel too. Like we're not even getting good Timu Paul Bartel. So we then have the joke where Jack's like, "You're not going to laugh at me. You're not going to laugh at me." And the whole time the psychiatrist is like, "No, I'm not going to laugh at you." And then as Jack's leaving, he's like, "Oh, I only stayed half an hour." And then the psychiatrist is like, "Uh-huh." And Jack's like, "Can I get a break on the bill?" And the psychiatrist just starts laughing.
Uproariously.
Yes.
In a very forced sitcom kind of way.
Yes.
Great.
High quality.
So he goes back home and is confronted by Vicky with the...
Did Vicky pack?
I don't remember.
She might have packed. She also might not have. But maybe not, because they have the fight in the living room, don't they?
Yeah, they're having a fight in the living room. She confronts him with the piece of paper that just says Kimberly and a phone number. So it doesn't say doctor. Again, very convenient that his last name is also a woman's first name. And they have a fight. But again, Jack does not know that Vicky thinks that he's cheating. So his side of the conversation is, "Oh my God, I needed to seek professional help. I paid $75. And I think it worked." And Vicky is appalled, thinking that he paid a sex worker to fix his problem of impotence. And they, again, have this vague miscommunication discussion about leaving. This relationship is not serviceable for either one of us. And then Jack realizes what happened, where the miscommunication was.
No, the leaving because it's not working for either one of us is next episode.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
This is just her, like, I think she's just finally like, "You're fucking around. I saw you fucking around on me." He's like, "No, that was Easy's girlfriend.
Yes,
I'm just going to talk to Easy about it." And she's like, "Well, who's that?" He's like, "It's my psychiatrist. I had to go talk, and he helped me figure out that it's your dad who's giving me bedroom problems." And do they start fucking sucking face at this point? Probably. Vicky goes into the bedroom for a little matinee, and the doorbell rings. Jack goes over, and it's Mr. Bradford, and he's like, "Did you see my psychiatrist friend?" And
"Did you see my psychiatrist friend? Give me the details. What did he say?" And it's like, why would you do that? And he's like, "He solved my problems, and this is what he told me to do." Slams the door in his face.
Goes
again,
off the
setting boundaries for like a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then presumably Jack's just fine, and they're going to go get busy.
Yeah. The end.
The end.
Okay. I hate that song, but it is so stuck in my head. It is so stuck in my head.
I watched 2 days ago, so it's actually out of mine now.
Oh, good. I'll get it back in there. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So
the next episode
is also about sex.
It's called Vacation from Sex.
Vacation from Sex.
I thought they went away. I either misread the description or something, but I read it as they went away for the weekend and tried not to have sex. Thank God they're not going to do that. Instead, they're just going to fucking hang around the apartment together and fucking whine about not fucking.
And do things camera and then come back to the apartment and talk about those things in a disingenuous way. Because they want to save their relationship.
We open with... Do we open with Jack coming in on Vicky talking to her dad?
I believe so.
And her dad has given her tickets to a concert, and Jack finds out about this and is upset because it's on his night off. It's Sunday night. Nope.
It's not because it's his night off. That's
but it's
previous episode. But they had plans. We skipped the whole subplot because it didn't go anywhere, where um dad is inviting them to the country club for some annual gala because it doesn't go anywhere.
Yes, that's right. That's the opening scene with dad in the first
Yeah.
episode or something.
Yeah,
He
in
comes
episode 5, yeah.
that's what he's upstairs bothering Vicky about.
Yeah.
And yeah, it doesn't
And it doesn't
matter.
go anywhere. So
So
we
skip
skipped it.
that. But
But this one, he's got tickets to classical music, and for them to Vicky and Jack, Jack is upset because it's a big football game.
yes,
The Raiders versus somebody else. I don't remember. It doesn't
it's
matter.
well,
The
there's
49ers, maybe?
I think it was a Washington team that I hope has changed their name.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So we then get
And so
sort
there's
of
a
funny
discussion
thing where
about she's like, we watched the football game last week.
and he's like, but this is the most important game of the year. And she's like, that's what you said about the one last week.
Yeah.
So
And she's like, why can't we just go out and do something nice? And he's like, we did that 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
So there's this, so we're setting the scene that they frequently do things that Jack wants to do. Jack likes football. Vicky likes more cultural things because her family is rich.
And they went to monster trucks or something a couple weeks ago. That comes up.
Car race, maybe.
And well, somebody says monster
Something.
trucks. He's like, no, it was a car race.
Demolition Derby.
Demolition Derby.
Mr. Bradford says Demolition Derby, and he's like, it was a race, not Demolition Derby. So there's a classist element here going on.
Yes. But Jack's also
cool.
A total dipshit, so it doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but it doesn't matter. So then there's Vicky's upset, so Jack starts pawing her, and she like mounts him, and they start making out. And Mr. Bradford's like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is you two's problem.
Yeah.
Anytime you two have a disagreement, you just fuck your way out of it. And they're like, boo hiss. So they then go to the concert because Jack is showing off that he's going to be a supportive boyfriend.
Except he turns into a 13-year-old. And what would a 13-year-old do when forced to do something they don't want to do in the face of something they do want to do, and find any way to do the thing they actually want to do? So they show up at the concert. She makes a big deal of telling him how much she appreciates him. And he is like, yeah, accepting that praise. She sees somebody who's a friend of her father's, and he's like, no, go say hi. It would be rude to not go say hi. While she's gone, he pulls a Walkman out of his pocket.
Transistor radio with earbud, Emily.
Or a transistor radio with an earbud. To listen to the football game instead of the classical music.
And having an incredibly bad comedy beat with the rich lady sitting next to him who's wearing a mink that still has the head on it.
Yeah.
He touches the mink. He does it. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and it's just very, what's the movie where is it Ghostbusters 1 have you ever seen Ghostbusters?
It's been a long time.
Okay. So there's this movie called Ghostbusters. It's all about how Bill Murray wants to sexually harass women, and the movie's about how he should be rewarded for that. Okay. In addition to that, I believe either in one of the two Ghostbusters movies I've seen, somebody's fur coats, minks come to life, and they
I vaguely
run around. That. Yeah. So no, we don't get that. Instead, he's just shitty to the lady. It's weird, not funny.
Not funny, but also highlighting the class difference, right?
Highlighting the class difference, except that we have not, to this point in the series, and I expect us not to see it again, or ever to see it because they're not going to pay for it. We do not have a sense of Jack Tripper does not have much of an interior life or interests. He knows that he seems to know something about the culinary field and building zoning laws. Otherwise, he
He
doesn't
likes
seem to know.
football. Yeah.
He says he does, and he makes Vicky watch football sometimes, but we've never seen them watching football. So it's a very generic characterization for a character who's theoretically been, you know, in America's hearts for 10 years at this point.
We know that he's a liar
We know he's a
and
liar. He's immature,
he's immature.
but
This is the second or third time we've seen him be like this stunt he's pulling with the radio is really fucking stupid. This is not grown ass adult man behavior.
this isn't even. I mean, so we have Paul Bartel as the MC of the concert. He comes out, introduces them, and there's a joke where he's like, "We've made a change of music," but Jack is listening to the radio. So when the guy finishes saying, "We've changed to this," Jack goes, "No," because he's listening on the radio. Then that gets a reaction from some of the people, but then they start playing the music, and almost immediately there's a touchdown, which leads to Jack screaming out, "Touchdown," while standing up, Vicky being mortified with embarrassment, the music stopping, the guy running out, Paul Bartel running out and saying, "What the fuck is going on out here?" And it actually made me think a lot about what would happen if that actually happened at a classical music recital. I'm curious what the procedures are. Do you start the piece of music over from the beginning? Do you ask that person to leave? Because apparently they do not
They do
ask that
not.
person to leave.
And if I were Vicky, I would storm out. I would storm the fuck out.
Well, you're not an independent woman like she is.
That's true.
We're going to cut maybe at a commercial to them back at the apartment. Vicky's very upset with him. And Jack is like Jack convinces her to forgive him through his sexual prowess, the offer of his
genitalia.
I was actually going to say, I was going to use romance novel words, and then I was
trouser
like,
snake.
No, I was going to use an adjective, ing adverb first. But then I decided I would say bleepity bleep. So his bleepity trouser snake. And she's like, "Wait a second, my dad's right. All you ever do is fuck the upset out of me." And he's like, "No, I don't. Do I?" And she's like, "Yes." And he's like, "Well, I don't need to. We can not have sex." And she's like,
we can do this for a week.
Let's do this for a week. And so we then are going to cut. Does she change her clothes in this scene?
So I don't know, but are they laying in bed when they're having this discussion?
Yeah, they're having the fight in bed.
And they very quickly realize that being in the same bed together is difficult.
Yes. Well,
I don't think she changes her clothes in this scene. There is a scene where she comes out wearing again something with a lot of skin showing, and
then changes her clothes into like a full
coverage pajamas,
full coverage single pajama thing. But that I thought was when she goes out and sleeps on the couch. Is that so? That might all be in the same thing, because doesn't she go out and sleep on the couch? No,
not the first night. Yeah, not the first night. So there's a bunch of scenes. We don't get easy in this. They don't use the bistro scene.
No, we're just going to hang out with the two of them in the apartment, talking about not being able to have sex and having
other things to do. So this is where we get discussions of, oh, we went to the ballet and wasn't the ballet
Mm-hmm.
great? And Jack is going, oh, I loved it so much. And he's talking really vaguely about it. But then you get very quickly realize that he's just making shit up because he didn't like it. But he's trying to prove to her
He did.
that he did.
Now, speaking of not having the bistro in this episode, when and also last episode, also want to mention we've never seen we still do not see any customers at the bistro. We start there after close because we don't have fake food money. Maybe season 2. So we've previously established, including in last episode, that the only night Jack can do something is on a Sunday because the bistro is closed. Oh, he does leave Easy in charge of the restaurant at one point, meaning there's only one fucking person working in the entire restaurant, which does not seem likely. Okay, but Jack, so we've thrown out the Jack can only do thing one night of the week, which has been established for 5 episodes, basically. And so now they're going out every night. Now, potentially that they have this extra time to do things together because they're not just having sex. However, going to the ballet, going to the fights, these are not things that would start at 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., when Jack would be traditionally getting off of work. So, you know what? Not a lot of logical sense when you think about this again, where's that show Bible? Where's that show Bible that talks about Jack's Bistro's hours? So yeah, they're gonna go
to the ballet again.
They're gonna go
showing
to the ballet
Romeo and Juliet, and
they went to the fights.
I don't like they don't. There's not like a. Speaking of not having like an internal life, there's not like a lot of breadth here either in terms of things to do. I mean, it's fucking Los Angeles. There's movie theaters. There's other musical concerts. You don't just have to go to classical music. There's popular music. There's rock and roll music. It's 1984. There's got to be some punk rock scene here. I mean, there's stuff going on that they could participate in. There's got to be community events. Let's go to the farmers market. Like, it doesn't always have to be things at night, and it doesn't always have to be classical music or sports.
I don't know what your marriage is like, but it's always classical music or sports, Emily. It's like fish or chicken. At least in the sitcom-averse. So, especially in the dirt cheap, we are not building a set for extras, except they do. So they are in bed. They need to keep their minds off of fucking. So Jack goes over and turns on the TV, which I found to be super interesting because we've never seen the TV before. Now, sitcoms going back to I Love Lucy have had a hard time figuring out where you're going to put the TV. There are plenty of shows where the TV seemingly appears and it's, facing away from the camera toward the viewer or facing away from the audience and the camera toward the actors/characters, and you never see it. Sometimes it's gone from that spot so they can get a better shot on a sitcom. Their TV is a portable TV from the 80s. I don't know when they started making these, potentially in the 70s. If you remember them, these things were not the size of a suitcase. They weighed more than a suitcase, but they were the size of a good-sized duffel bag because it's a TV with the big cathode ray and then some shit on the back of it, probably the speaker or something. So it's this enormous, teeny screen, which is across the room from them, not aimed at the bed. Jack turns it on. They find a war movie. Too bad it's a war movie about fucking. So they're getting hot and bothered by the war movie about fucking. Now, there are 6 easy jokes about war movies that would not involve it being a fucking scene. Like, where they could, stock footage festival joke from Simpsons. But no, it's this painful fucking scene that's not funny, is stupid, and it ends with Vicky being like, I'm going out to the couch. because we just would need to fuck if I stay.
So, but again, it's the setup for this is potential miscommunication because she's like, maybe my dad's right. Maybe we can't do this. Da 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 da. And Jack's like, you're right. I think we should just. And he's thinking that they're going to start fucking. And she's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
And he's very disappointed. She gets up, takes her pillow, and leaves. And he's pacing around the room really quickly and then starts doing jumping jacks because he, again, is unbothered. We also missed a cold shower joke.
2 cold shower
early.
jokes at least.
Yeah.
Sorry. So then we cut to 3 more days later where,
is it?
Yeah, they use the same.
I thought it was the next day.
Nope. It says 3 days later again.
I missed
because
that.
Because they were using their awesome titling technology from the Evening News of 1984. So the bed is out in the living room,
which we saw before in the episode where Mr. Bradford was there to take care of Vicky.
Yes.
Except now it's bigger.
Well, you know what? They heard us.
Okay. Now the bed is bigger. She's making the bed, and Jack comes out in his tiny little bathrobe, and she's all pajamaed up with her big old bathrobe, and he's still getting hot and bothered, and he kind of slut shames her and is like, oh my God, do you have to be, showing so much skin? And she kind of looks down and she had the opportunity to be like, you're showing more skin than I am, Mr. Short Shorts. But she doesn't do that because she's a better person than me, maybe. I don't know. And
hey, Emily, how long would you have lasted in a relationship with Jack Tripper?
0 days.
Okay.
And the doorbell rings. It's Mr. Bradford.
Why is he here again?
I forget.
Make fun of them not fucking.
To give them
more tickets.
Concert tickets?
He's dropping off. Is he dropping off that you just watched it? But in theory, I think he's probably just dropping off the tickets for the concert.
Well, they go back to the concert.
It's a series. That's what it was.
No, but I thought that this is when they decide. I don't know. Okay.
No. So
he brings the tickets. He sees that there's a picture of him on the
That's been there the whole episode, though. It's really fucking weird. Yes, because Jack's gonna turn it. No, wait, that was last episode because it was the impotence thing. Wasn't it? There's this.
It's this one. It's this one because
it's this one. Okay.
Because I read it. There's no explanation, but I read it as Vicky has it there to remind her, so she doesn't think about sex because she's looking at a picture of her father. Even though she can practically fuck in front of him, she can dry hump in front of her father. This picture, I read it again as being like sort of like I'm doing this to prove him wrong. I'm doing this not to get hot and bothered.
Not to get too behind the scenes here, but when we get done recording before editing, Emily watches the episodes 3 more times, so she'll correct this in the edit.
No, I
think it's there the whole episode because I think they don't understand how Chekhov's gun really works. Okay. But yeah, so Dad's never observed this picture before, but then he sees it and he's like, fuck yeah, you got a picture of me, what's up?
But then he picks it up and he's like, ew, don't you guys dust?
Yeah,
and he takes he takes his handkerchief out and starts dusting it off. And then he notices the bed and he's like, oh, are you guys having a fight? And Vicky says, no, we're trying to prove to ourselves that we don't need to fuck all the time or something.
And he's like, good luck with that. But then he gets the concert tickets. Jack's like, why the fuck are you giving us concert tickets? And he's like, hey, dumbass, didn't you pay attention in the first scene? I said it was a series. That means you go back again.
Right.
So,
okay. I'm remembering now how this episode ends. Okay.
Well, good, because you're going to tell us, you're going to describe the concert scene to us.
Okay. I can do that. So they go back to the concert. She's wearing a lovely little dress. He's wearing his ugly gray suit again.
She's wearing a lovely dress. She's not wearing a little dress. There's no.
I said lovely.
You said lovely little dress.
Oh,
it's not like.
I just meant that because she's a small woman.
Wow. Okay. Height shaming now. Okay.
No, she's not. I don't even think she's short. She's very slender.
Okay. Whatever. But Meaning there's not
she's
skin showing.
right. There's not a lot of skin showing. I think her arms are even fully covered, but it looks like a dress that Blanche would wear on Golden Girls.
This is, yes.
Not as slutty as Blanche, but that's not who Vicky is. So anyway, she's wearing a lovely dress. He's wearing his ugly gray suit, and they seem to be enjoying the concert. Starts the same way. Your MC guy comes out to introduce the piece, makes some remark to Jack
If
about
that's
his
okay with you.
yeah about his outburst last time, and Jack barely even seems to notice.
It's in the universe of the show. Jack doesn't understand why people reacted because he was listening to a game. So what else was he supposed to do? Like, even the touchdown thing, he does not acknowledge that he disrupted the concert. He
Yeah.
just thinks she's being a stuck-up rich girl. Like, it's very like, well, because he's a fucking man child. This is what
Yes.
all of Three's Company was about
Yeah.
like women having to take care of men who they weren't even romantically involved with. Yes, women have to take care of they have to coddle and baby their husbands, but Three's Company was about how you have to coddle and baby all men.
Yeah.
Which is what we call reality. So
the music starts. It's, I don't know, Brahms. I don't remember. Anyway, it's some very romantic piece. And Jack and Vicky canoodle a little bit, heads on shoulders, holding hands, maybe. I don't know. Then it progresses to a kiss on the cheek, a kiss on the cheek. And then it's like making out a little bit. And it escalates very quickly to kind of funny.
And rolling on top of her, right?
Yeah, she pulled him on top of her.
Okay.
In a very role reversal kind of way, which again was almost funny. And eventually, I can't believe it took this long, except it's TV logic. The people in the audience start watching this happening. And slightly later, the musicians realize what's happening and completely stop. And
Bartel comes out and says, "Do you want us to turn out the lights?"
Yes. And I think that's the end of that scene. I think maybe a commercial break.
They're embarrassed.
They're looking around. Vicky's hair.
Yeah.
Vicky's hair is all messed up. Commercial break. Then we're back in the apartment.
We're back in the apartment for the conversation about how it turns out Dad was right. They don't have anything in common except fucking. And, and Vicky's like, we made an agreement when this started. Oh, no, I think the no strings agreement was from last episode.
Yeah.
And she's like, if you want somebody else, you should just go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode, though, she's like, I think we just need to break up because, we're clearly not. We
compatible.
thought we were right for each other, and we're clearly not. That's not what this is about. So they both leave. And then Jack comes back in first. Vicky's also coming back in, though. And he's like, I got out into the hallway and I realized that I didn't want to not see you again. And she's like, well, that means you love me. So it's okay.
It was more than that. This is when we get the acknowledgement that she works. And he's like, you leave on a flight and I worry that I'm never going to see you again. And I'm so concerned that something bad is going to happen to you. And that is actually what she says is like, well, that means you love me. And he's like, does it?
I mean,
which is so stupid.
He also could just not want to have to pay all the rent or lose his steady lay. His steady nightly lay.
His steady nightly eager lay.
Eager lay, right? Like we're talking, like Three's a Crowd taught many, well, probably not many because it did not have the ratings, but it's characterization of enthusiastic consent is there are, log jammers has less enthusiastic consent than Three's Company too.
But how come so many men of that generation still don't even understand consent, let alone enthusiastic consent?
Because they're Gen X men who are uh, the men of a generation that the cockroaches someday will be like, hey, they kind of fucking ruined human civilization. And these are the men. So that's why, Emily. That's
Fair enough.
why.
Fair
These are the
enough.
guys who think Andrew Tate is a young man with good ideas. Okay. So Jack's like, oh, so if I do love you, does that mean we can fuck now? And she's like, we can fuck now. And so she goes off into the bedroom. Jack is eagerly scampering after her, but on the way, he puts down Mr. Bradford's picture because even though Mr. Bradford was facing away from the bedroom door,
not good
there's the
enough.
thing, not good enough. There is an entire comedy scene here where they could have gotten busy on the couch sofa bed and both kept looking at Mr. Bradford's picture, and it would have been comedy beats or something where they had to turn it. What if it was on the wall? So the first episode's slightly better than the second episode, but I don't want to hear John Ritter talk about his sex life. I don't want to hear him try to psychologically manipulate his lady friend. Like, it's just, again, there was a reason my mom did not want me watching this show.
And I don't want to watch a woman, one, be manipulated by her boyfriend, partner. I don't want to watch her be manipulated by her father either, because that's all that's happening. She is as independent as she claims to be, and as unconventional as her relationship is, i.e., with a cisgender male, just not married. Like,
Okay,
whatever.
the
She
uncommon
is
part is she wants to fuck. That is actually what this is about.
she is still in control. Like, she seemingly does not have a mind of her own to even say to her father, so what if we like to have sex with each other?
Clearly, we do. We do it in front of you. That is established
Also,
canon.
also established canon, Dad, is that you're a fucking poon hound.
Yep.
So what the fuck is the problem? At least we
And
get
there's the
along.
implication
At
that
least we
mom
get
enjoyed.
along. Yes.
So,
But at least we get along. We're in a committed relationship. And we don't have to be married. You were a fucking poon hound and ruined my mom's life.
question.
Yeah.
Has there been a network sitcom that was sex positive?
No.
Okay. We're saying that in 2026.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't watch a lot of network sitcoms. I couldn't tell you if
I'm going to guess
Caroline in the City was sex positive or
No, Caroline. No, what are you talking about? 1995 sitcom?
or
Like,
or 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 Big Bang Theory.
I mean, did that
Your
directly lead to the male loneliness epidemic?
I've never seen your eye twitch like that before.
Didn't it? I mean, like, isn't it A plus B equals C? Isn't it A? Big Bang Theory got popular equals the downfall of Western civilization. No, I would assume it's not sex positive because to be sex positive, you would have to have the woman have
More agency?
agency,
Yeah.
and advertisers do not. That women have the agency to buy shit.
Yeah.
So, it was nice to see Jessica Walter back. It was sad that the second episode was not one of her 8, but at least that means we have 6 more appearances, and those raise the needle a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting thing I just learned today. The bottle episode, which is referred to as the episode where there's ARC films used to describe this, where it's people in a contained space is an ARC film.
Oh.
So Interesting, because I always think of bottle episode more as an episode that does not have any narrative connection to the other episodes, or
Oh, I
something that
don't. I definitely think of it as everybody's
it contains.
contained
Yeah.
because
So
doesn't it come from an I Dream of Jeannie? Isn't that kind of this like? Isn't there an episode of that where they get like where
I
he
feel like,
gets they're like trapped, literally trapped in a bottle?
okay, you're reminding me of the show Legends of Tomorrow, which has a thing like that, and it's wonderful. Very queer positive show. Wonderful show. Missed a lot, actually ruined by Republicans. But bottle episode is a phrase that is relatively recent to the culture, to the point that I don't think any of your modern TV, quote unquote, critics, your modern TV new media critics are familiar with I Dream of Jeannie. It'd be interesting. We
It's
should look it up.
I'm looking it up. It has nothing to do with I Dream of Jeannie. It was coined in the 60s by by the creator of the Outer Limits. And
Interesting.
it had to do more with more to do with cost, not wanting to build more than one set. And while it but it does have uh relationship to like a genie in a bottle. It has nothing to do
Okay.
with that show
They should
specifically.
have a better, interesting, because that would mean that the Star Trek episodes where they never leave the bridge or bottle episodes, but that's weird. Okay. But yeah, so there you go. You were too smart for reality. Congratulations to you. How's that
Thanks.
working out for you, Emily?
Really
How's it
fucking good.
working out for you? How's your
Really
mental
fucking
health?
good.
How's your
Really.
mental health, bro?
Oh, it's getting
Okay.
worse and worse. Um, well, that was great. I can't wait until we watch more of this delicious, wonderful show, Scrumptious. Um, next two episodes, episodes 7 and 8, we'll be talking about next week. Matter of Money, which seems to be a little bit more interesting. I don't know what kind of interpersonal things are happening, but a counterfeit $100 bill is found in Jack's Bistro's bank account, which doesn't make sense. It's not like the money that you have is set aside in a separate safe or something, whatever. And the police are asking him for help
Be in the
identifying the
business.
counterfeiter. And
Mhm.
then episode 8 is the honeymooners when Jack and Vicky go on an unofficial honeymoon to get away from dad. Uh-oh.
Oh, good. We get to talk about the wild fucking idea that somebody could go away to a motel together without being married, which hasn't been a trope in comedy movies since the silent days, I imagine. Though 19 though Reagan era sitcoms were those more or less risque than pre-code films. Don't we'll find out.
We will.
Um cool. Well, um
I look forward to watching these episodes.
mhm.
No mention of Jessica Walter being in them, but
But that means we have more of her later, which is going to be better because
and
it's a
hopefully it's
thing.
not just one scene.
I think Jessica Walter was kind of like, "Hey, wait a second, that chick's 27 fucking years old. How old do you think I am, motherfucker?" And they're just like, "What?" And she's like, "I'll do one scene for the same rate as a full episode."
Well, you're over 30, so you can play 50 to 70. Yeah. Okay, well, Andrew, I will see you in television land.
All right, I'll see you on television land, Emily.